What is happening, everybody? So, if you're watching the replay, then I don't even know. It's been so long since we've done one of these. I'm feeling miserably. But
you're doing a great job, Dave.
We don't have any kids tonight, so we thought that we would jump on here and do a live stream and talk about pallet flipping, liquidation, answering any questions that anybody might have, but also talk about expectations when it comes to buying liquidation and kind of answer some questions that I've been getting a lot of emails about. And there seems to be kind of a theme that has been happening in these emails as people are reaching out asking for help. We would jump on and answer those. What's going on, Cajun Reseller? I know, long time no see. So these live streams are hard when we have kids, and tonight we have no kids. So
we tried to do it with the kids, and it was just hit or miss, and so we couldn't be very consistent. So we're like, you know what? We'll just do these when we can.
Yeah, it was very distracting to do it when the kids were around too, because they were crying and
it was late. We did it late at night when it was bedtime.
Yeah.
So.
But let's jump into it because I want to value your time. And if y'all have any questions, just pop those into the comment section, and I will get to those throughout the stream. But expectations,
regarding pallet liquidation.
Expectations regarding buying liquidation. So a lot of people, especially in the reselling community, if that are active in Facebook reselling groups or active in YouTube reselling YouTube channels, is most of those types of sourcing comes from thrifting, from Goodwill shopping, from going to the Goodwill bins, from estate sales, garage sales. And the expectation when you source those is you're going to have very high margins, meaning that if I buy this little dude and it's a good selling item, that if I was thrifting, chances are I could probably, buy it for $1 and sell it for 20 or 30 bucks. So the expectation is I'm going to have some really good margins, right? But when it comes to liquidation, you got to think about you're not spending as much time doing the sourcing. Like you can source a liquidation pallet in like 5 minutes and be done with it and have enough stuff for a whole week. But you shouldn't expect to make the same margin that you would as buying in a thrift store or garage sale. The margins are going to be lower, but dollar amount wise, you can make a lot of revenue, a lot of money, and make it back. And when we buy pallets, our goal is to always at least double our money. And that's with buying, 2 to 3 pallets at a time. When we were buying truckloads, it was very easy for us to get 3, 4, 5, 6 times the amount of money because you're buying a whole truckload. You're able to buy a lot more pallets at a lot lower cost. You can pay shipping of $1,200 for a whole truckload versus $150 per pallet having them shipped individually. So you can have a lot higher margins.
Yeah, a lot of times when we do these questions, harder. There we go. Are we back?
All right. I hope we're back. So very sorry for the Wi-Fi issues. In our area, we're notorious for having Wi-Fi issues.
We're trying our best.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, one of the things that we get a lot of conversations like, well, what should I buy? Or sorry, washing machine. No, that was my dryer.
Dryer.
What should I buy? How much can I make off of this? That comes down to it. Looking into buying liquidation, what you can do is going to be different than what we can do. We're a buy. Most of the things that we have, we price to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be more apt to make deals with people on Facebook Marketplace, to accept if we're selling things on Facebook. Whereas if you've got a plethora of space and you can still continue buying stuff, you may be able to hold on to things a little bit longer.
Yeah.
If you can buy certain products that sell faster for a higher initial investment, that's something that you do that doesn't sell as quick, or that does sell quickly. Yeah. So I think with expectations, it's realizing, okay, what are all the factors that is going to go into how I'm going to price my items, how I'm going to list my items, what items I'm going to source to begin with, and setting yourself up to learn those things over time.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, they're like, Joe, what pallets should I buy? Like, I want to buy some pallets. What do I buy? And it really depends. Like, I often tell people that, I ask them, how is Facebook Marketplace in their area? How do you plan on selling this? Do you want to sell this stuff on eBay? Are you wanting to sell this in the flea market? Are you wanting to sell this on Facebook? Like, where are you wanting to sell this? Because the pallets that we buy now, whereas there's some items that there's no way that we would try to sell it on Facebook, that we would have to sell it on eBay. So it really just depends where you're wanting to sell the stuff, because some people, they don't want to deal with people. They don't want to go on Facebook. They don't want to meet people, or they've tried to sell stuff on Facebook in their area, and the market sucks. Like, the ecosystem in their area sucks. People don't want to meet up, and then they say they're going to meet up, and then they don't show up. Here, where we are, like, we don't have that issue. We have a very good ecosystem where people on Facebook, we can get more money on Facebook than selling it online. And the only way that you know that is to at least try to sell it on Facebook, look at what things are selling on Facebook, and kind of get a gauge for how quickly certain items are selling on Facebook.
I think that anywhere that you are, if there's a will to sell the items that you get off pallet liquidation, there will be a way. It may not be the same way that we are, or the other pallet liquidators out there who go out there and sell pallets. There is a way. You just got to find out how it is in your area. And if that is the case, then the only way you're going to find out is if you do as much research as you can, but you really got to go out there and do it. Yeah. And you've got to try. Yeah. We've got buckets of things that we still don't quite know how to sell. But we got to, this reconnecting is really getting my goat. Okay. Yeah, so we are selling online. We're trying different platforms. We're selling Facebook Marketplace. We're trying to sell things in lots. I mean, there's all things that we're trying to do. And these are all things that you're going to have to do. And some of the things that work for us aren't going to work for you. Yeah. Some of the things that, work for you wouldn't work for us in our area. So I think it really comes down to, the realistic expectation is that, yes, your goal is to make money, but in terms of how much money, that really depends on what you're willing to do, how much work you're willing to put in. For us, it's different. We don't have a lot of space. We have a great Facebook ecosystem. Our flea market is successful, and we have a couple of platforms on eBay that are very successful and get a lot of traffic. So that works for us, but that may not work for everyone. So yeah, I think that setting realistic expectations is realizing that you're not going to know until you get in there and really find out.
And I think also a lot of people are scared when it comes to buying pallets, because especially those who are used to sourcing from garage sales and thrift stores and stuff, because you can buy a lot of items and spend, $50, but get like 25, 30 items where you don't have very much invested in it. But sometimes it takes you a while to make the amount of money from it that you want to. There's a guy that was on Facebook the other day, he's got like $390,000 in inventory, but he only sells like maybe $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And I'm like, that's crazy to have that much inventory, but you're only doing $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I'm like, that's crazy. Whereas like for us, we have around $24,000 to $30,000 in inventory, but we do $15,000 to $16,000, $17,000 a month in revenue. So we have more invested in our revenue or in our inventory, but we're selling it a lot faster. So and for us, a big strategy is the faster that we can turn it, the more that we can purchase, the more money that we can make. So when it comes to like, they have a hard time buying a pallet for $500, especially when they don't know exactly what's going to be on it. They've got all these horror stories about people not doing well because they're out there. You do very well. And you've got some pallets that you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like we've got an unboxing video that will be coming out tomorrow or Tuesday that it was amazing. Like, I don't know if we've ever made that much money off of that dollar amount
And the
of a
funny
pallet.
thing is those 2 pallets were ones that we were just like, oh yeah, we'll do it
Yeah.
for the positive cash flow, so we've got some extra inventory. But the ones we really wanted were the last 2 unboxings that we had,
Yeah.
which were good. They
Yeah.
were good, but wow.
Yeah, but like for us, you know, this is us speaking from our experience, and we've been doing this for over 2 years now. I don't even know how many pallets that we purchased. A lot, and we've messed up a lot. We've learned a lot. We've made lots of mistakes, and for us, like we like to spend $500, and within a week, you've got that money back into your bank account, and you've got a couple $100 already extra in the profit, and then you've still got $500 or $600 in inventory that you're selling. Like, we love to do that because we're selling it fast. Like, it's a fast thing that we're doing. We're doubling our money every single week.
And that works for us.
And I don't know what business person wouldn't spend $500 and make that money back within a week, and then still, when it's all said and done, they at least double or triple their money. There's not a single business person out there anywhere that wouldn't do that. But it seems crazy for a lot of people who have come from thrifting and garage selling because of how much money they're used to spending on an item and how much money that they can sell it for, and they have these, I made 500% profit on that. I'm like, that's awesome. I just made $100 profit on that one item. So it's just a shifting of how you're thinking and what to expect. So
That was really good.
yeah. And then with liquidation, the best route is it's always slow and steady. Slow and steady. Like, for us, we went from, before we ever started buying truckloads, we had only bought like 6 pallets. And I'm like, oh yes, let's go. Let's get a warehouse and start buying truckloads. And that was not a good choice.
Obviously, we don't have the warehouse anymore.
No, when we shut the warehouse down, yes, we made money, but it was just a long, long process. It was not what we were used to. It was way more work than what we could do at that time of our life. And but slow and steady when it comes to liquidation. And it's very easy because you get into it and you buy those pallets, and you see the potential in that because you double or triple your money within a couple of weeks. You've got all that money back in your pocket, and it's like itching, you're burning, you're on that dopamine rush because you just made a lot of money quickly, and you're like, oh man, the potential, what if I do all this? But not realizing that not every pallet is good, not every truckload is a good one. So, the thrifting Goomba. Products to stay away from a beginner. I would probably stay away from returns.
Yep. And salvage lots.
And yes, specifically the returns, you can get some really good return pallets from particular locations, but there's no way as a beginner that I would buy Walmart returns. I would stay away from them like the plague because the amount of stuff, especially if you're only buying pallets at a time. If you're just buying one pallet, then you're not really going to make a whole lot of money on a Walmart pallet. And depending on that Walmart return pallet, that it could be all junk. And a lot of times it is.
I mean, you can make money off of it. It's going to require a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
And same thing with salvage lots for the same exact reason. You just don't know what you're getting, and you really don't know what condition it's going to be in. And so, for that reason, I would say as a beginner, I would stay away from those because you're really just trying to learn the trade.
Yeah.
So you're putting a lot on your plate when you are putting a lot of extra things that you need to worry about. Like if I were a beginner and I was looking for a pallet, I'd find a shelf pull pallet, manifested or unmanifested. Simply manifested is going to cost a little bit more, but the chances of you having usable items to sell is a lot higher. And then on top of that, that would give you the ability to where you're really not going to have a lot of items there that are going to just be zero or nothing.
Right.
You'll have items that will have scuffing or damage based on whatever happened, that caused it to be a shelf pull to begin with. But you'll be able to sell those things and find out where your market is.
Yeah.
There'll be a variety of items that you can sell locally, online, and you can find out what your sweet spot is. And it's a great place for you. A shelf pull pallet is a great place for a beginner to go in and say, okay, how am I going to move the product once I get it?
Yeah.
And what avenues and what ways are going to work for me and my business.
It's a big one. Plus, you don't have to worry about return fraud, because return fraud can be very demoralizing and very frustrating to deal with, especially starting out. I mean, I know for us, the first several pallets that we got, there was lots of return fraud, and it was very, very frustrating, especially if you're not making as much money as you wanted to. You don't have confidence in what you're doing. And then on top of that, you've got somebody out there that's scamming you. And I mean, they didn't scam you, but you are the person that's ultimately getting scammed. That it's just something that those two things I would stay away from.
And that's general merchandise also, that's we're talking really specifically about general merchandise pallets. But if you can find like lots or pallets of things that you are good at, or that a lot about. Joe and I, we always, everywhere we go, even if we go to a thrift store, like everywhere we go for consumer electronics first. That's what we know. That's what we're good at. Same thing applies for pallets. If you find, if you're really good at, you have a really great way to sell furniture, and you see a furniture pallet, like if you can do that, and that works for you, go for it, And I would lean towards those first because it's a lot less to learn.
Yeah. And, I guess the other thing was, especially if you're new to liquidation, there's two trains of thought really in life with anything in regards to education. That it's you pay for education so that as you go to trade school, you go to college, any of those things, you are paying for.
That's exciting. Oh, Maui Delights, I miss you.
I always like your comments, Maui Delights. They're always awesome. But you pay for the education. You're not really paying for experience. You're paying for knowledge. And then you have the hands-on approach where you go and you get a job. You go and you do. And then relating that to pallet flipping or buying liquidation or thrifting, whatever, is that you are going out and you are spending money that you are paying for education, you are paying for experience. And that you have to, especially early on, like you don't want to invest any more than what you are willing to lose or than what you are able to lose. Because there's no sure thing that you're going to get your money back. You're playing the odds. It's a calculated gamble. The chances are you're going to make money off of it, but you may not. You may not do it. You may get the one pallet where you get screwed, but you're paying for that experience. And
some of you may not know this, but our first pallet was awful.
It sucked.
We lost money on it. We managed to make our money back, but it was a very cheap pallet to begin with.
It was a liquid. It was a, what was that word that you said?
Salvage.
Salvage. It was a salvage. I have problems with words if you've been watching for a while. It was a salvage lot pallet from liquidation.com. And I bought it because I saw the opportunity. I saw these little Instapot pressure cookers on there. I'm like, ooh, those are selling for like $125 a piece. And I bought it and we got it in, and we got it all. We got damaged stuff. We got return fraud.
I'm spending half the day taking apart items to try to at least make one good item that we can sell, and then parting out everything else. It was a disaster. I was so mad. I blamed him. I was like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? And you're like, oh, I just bought a couple more.
Yeah. And to flip it, you got some more, your first two pallets.
Bought first two pallets.
Spring,
One pallet of large returns. Dude, the rush is, yes, it is amazing. It's like Christmas.
It is. It's so different than going thrifting, in my opinion.
Well, that's it may not be different for everybody. It's different for us because we don't like crowds or shopping.
Yes, but like, I mean, it's the whole thing. Like, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to like a pallet, like, you don't know, and you don't know what condition it's gonna be in, and that's part of that rush.
Yeah. Okay. In it to flip, it says that they think they've only had about 2 of 20 pallets be bad, mostly their fault, rush the buys, and that's true. If you're not really closely paying attention to all of the stuff,
Yeah.
and there's some we've got video playlists on purchasing pallets and the things that we look for, so you guys can find those on one of our playlists. But it is very, very true. Every pallet that Joe and I have had that's been really, really bad has been, or even like mediocre, has been because we missed something.
Yeah, we're like, there's only a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And you check it, and you're like, oh, it looks like it's a good deal, and then you get it, and it's just like, so.
Hey, but then you learn.
Yeah.
Then you learn.
And that's part of it. It's having money set aside to where you are able to buy online is different than going to a liquidator and buying. We've never done that before. We're actually
going to
in a couple of weeks.
I'm so
It's going to be our
excited.
first visit ever to a liquidation place. It's a place that we've bought many times from, but we've never actually visited, because here in Arkansas, like, the closest liquidators are in Dallas, which is like 5.5 hours away. There's one in Nashville, and they're about 6 hours away. So like 5.5, 6 hours, that's the closest that we are to liquidation companies. But when I had a point that I was getting to, and I got distracted.
That's so exciting.
Having money set aside and looking online every single day for the pallets that are coming available in a couple of days. And usually, like with liquidation.com, and I'll speak for them because that's who we've been buying from a lot lately, because we love a particular kind of pallet from there. And they will be up for 3 or 4 days before the end of the auction. So
Yeah.
I can get a good idea of what pallets are going to be available there over the course of a couple of days, so that I can make a more educated decision. Okay, and what I mean by that is, like, I'm able to look through, I'm like, okay, I like this pallet, and this pallet. This one's okay. I like this one, but these other ones definitely not okay. Instead of being rushed, like, oh, I need inventory, like, I don't have anything.
Then you can be strategic about your buys.
Yeah.
Strategic about how much you want to bid, what's your max bid for certain pallets, things like that. It's really hard to tell, but for the most part, Joe and I are like, okay, we've got this budget to spend for this amount of time. Let's pick some pallets and see what we get. So if we lose a pallet that we really wanted, because it gets too high or we miss it or for whatever reason, then we know that we can allocate those to other pallets that we want to have.
Yeah.
Susie, everybody's dude. I'm dude. You're dude to me.
Did I say dude?
No, I said dude.
We're all dudes.
We're all dudes. We're all dudes. And then Kathy, I like what you said. You said not at the pallet stage, but you bought a box of salvage clothes, not really knowing, and that it was an eye opener. And that's something I tell people all the time. I'm like, if you get a bad pallet or a bad lot, you didn't fail. And I think that's a big thing. So a lot of times people say, oh, I did this, and then you buy something and it didn't turn out the right way, or it messed up. And then you think, well, I'm just not cut out for this. I can't do this, or I make bad decisions or whatever. It happens to every single person. Eye opener is a really great way to say that, because now you know what salvage looks like. Now you know what salvage clothes look like. And you know that you're probably not going to purchase a lot like that again. And then you can also apply that to other pallets, other lots in the future. So I would never call that a failure. And that's going back on
Experience.
what you said. You paid to learn, and you probably did. You may have been able to sell some of that, and make at least either some of that money back, or even maybe break even. So very cool.
And to flip it, finding higher price on bidding items, supplies limited. I think it's partly that, because there isn't a lot, like, especially the last few weeks, I haven't seen as many pallets available for what we buy. But also, there are a lot of people who are in need of money. They're in need of ways to make money. And a lot of people are getting those stimulus checks, during the springtime, anyways, around tax return season. Pallets get high. They get more. They get high. Pallets are more expensive around tax season, anyways, because people are just like they're spending more money. And I mean, there's like some B stock truckloads and B stock pallets on bstock.com from like Target and Walmart. Like they've been going for like 70 and 80% of retail. And I'm like, how are you even making money on those when you're spending that much money? It's crazy how much they're spending. It's ridiculous. There's no way that they're making any money off that. But people got money. They're trying to buy money. They're trying to make money. And when you're stressed out and scared, you sometimes do things that you normally would not do. I know I have made lots of bad financial decisions in regard to the business.
A lot. We have
we're
made
afraid
a lot
of not having enough inventory or not having enough sales. Like those are the times that we mess up the most, is when we make decisions based off of reactionary instead of now. Like we have a plan, we have a strategy that we follow. That's kind of our business core values now. And we've talked about it so much between the two of us. So now anytime that we go to buy a pallet or we make a larger purchase, we naturally go back to, okay, how does this line up with our strategy? How does this line up with what we want to do? And we're able to discern very quickly that whether it does line up or it doesn't line up. Because for me, I always get super excited about potential. I see things avail. I'm like, oh, we could do this and this. And like, I'm already thinking 3 months down the road.
Yeah.
And it gets me in trouble, but that's why having that strategy helps out a lot.
And if you're thinking about spending a lot of extra money, or, doing pallets, and you have not really taken the time to build your business up from a foundational level, whatever that looks like for you, for us, we talk a lot about our why. We talk a lot about our values and things like that. And I know a lot of people, they hear those kinds of things and they just kind of groan and roll their eyes like, but I am telling you, like, we had them, we didn't pay attention to them, and it got us in a lot of trouble, where, it was really, really a difficult time. And so if you're going to be spending a lot of money, if you're going to be doing an investment, especially one that is more than you're used to, I highly encourage you, and I think it's worth your time, to sit down and think about why you're doing this, to think about some values that you have. And there's plenty of books out there that can teach you that. Like there's a lot that could be said about what that means, and like strategically why are you destroying Desi's toy?
I just like to mess with stuff. Sorry.
I'm supposed to sew that back together. Anyway, but had the time to really sit down and do that, whatever that looks like for you. If you want to do like a self-help book or whatever, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can recommend one to you, whatever works for you. I'm telling you right now, like from one business owner to another, like you need to do that. It's really
like
important.
Your compass. It's the thing that will help keep you on the path.
On the path.
And will save you a lot of time and money down the road.
And misery.
Yep.
And sleepless nights.
Yep.
And stress eating. There's a lot of that.
Do I stress eat?
No, I stress eat.
She stress eats.
I do stress eat.
I always forgot about my dang eyebrows. How they go up like this.
Oh gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. We
want to value your time out there. If y'all don't have any more questions, or if you do have any more questions, put them in the chat. And we don't want to stay on here too long tonight because it is Memorial Day weekend and it is Sunday Fun Day.
Also, guys, quick thing that I wanted you to know is that the purple is going away soon.
She's getting rid of the purple hair.
The purple's going away. It's going to be still dreaded, but it's going to be brown. It's going to go back to brown.
Maybe I'll do purple after that.
Whatever. No, you won't.
My hair grows too fast. I'd have to dye it purple like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because the way that I do my hair, it's a semi-permanent dye. And so it comes out a lot, so the upkeep is a lot to do it. I have to dye my hair once a week. And dreadlocks is high maintenance anyway. The deep cleaning, the masks that I put on it, the maintenance that I have to go through to make sure that they stay clean, and all of that. It's just a lot. And last summer, I had purple hair and I wasn't able to swim with my kids in the chlorine pools because it would just pull all the dye out of my hair.
And it would look really weird.
I just want to swim with my kids. I want to be able to not have to worry about it. I want to be able to wash my hair more often, and because I'm doing CrossFit now, and so it gets really, really hot, and so I need to wash my hair a lot more often. And just with the purple, it's just not. I'm not saying I won't go back someday, but
How
I'm
long
just
have you
saying.
had purple now? 2 years?
It's been 2 years, yeah. So, I'm gonna go back but I'm gonna get some fake dreads put in. My loctician is amazing, and I'm gonna get some fake dreads put in. I'm gonna do some cool boho, wrap.
I don't even know what
Colors.
boho is. What's a boho?
Just think like the different multicolored strings and the
okay.
beads and stuff. I don't want to put them on my actual dreads because when I wash them, I won't be able to get a deep enough clean, and I have to have clean dreads. So.
Bohemian, is that right?
Bohemian, yeah.
Okay.
Boho.
Yeah, I don't know.
Susie knows.
I just walk along. I walk this.
Thanks for understanding.
That's a song in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Thor
Avenger! Yeah! You're amazing, Thor.
There's lots of new faces. Our channel's grown quite a bit since the last live stream. We've been consistent finally for the first time ever in our YouTube.
We found our groove, y'all.
I learned how to edit videos. So I wonder if y'all have been able to tell the difference between my editing and Jessica. She's still a lot better.
No, you do a great job.
You do it a lot better.
Sorry about Asgard, Thor.
She edited the unboxing video that will be coming out probably tomorrow, because I've got a vlog that I've already got filmed that will need to go out on Tuesday, because we've got a lot going on right now, and if we don't do more videos, then I feel like we're losing a lot of stuff. But for 6 or 7 straight weeks now, we've done at least every other day for the last 7 weeks. And
oh my gosh, Thor loves us. That's so
thank
awesome.
you, Thor. And we've had a lot of growth. Plus, we've been doing a lot more liquidation stuff, so we've kind of found more of a niche. And it helps out on YouTube whenever you do videos more consistently. And flea market booth.
The flea market booth, I am gonna go check that out this week and double check and make sure. We've been filling it. We haven't been checking the price, how much we've sold just yet. But we've been keeping it full. We've been selling things.
We just with our flea market booth, we tried to put it in there, and I know Laura, she works there at the flea market. She has are you the buff Thor?
Either way, Thor, we love you.
I'm the pudgy beard Thor.
But what about
I
Thor
shared
Avenger?
a meme about that, early on in the lockdown, that I was gonna come out. Are you gonna come out of this looking like the buff Thor or the other Thor? And I'm coming out of it now like the buff Thor
Anyway,
because
you
of
were talking about the
CrossFit.
flea market to Maui Delights.
Yes, the flea market. She told us very early on that we need to mix some high dollar items with low dollar items, and we totally disregarded her idea, her suggestion. We went with a lot of lower dollar stuff. So we've been selling stuff, but you got to sell a lot of stuff when you're only selling it for a couple of
So
dollars.
I'm gonna try and put some pallet items up there, some bigger stuff,
Yeah.
some more pricier stuff up there, and all of that. But I'm having a hard time with it because a lot of our bigger stuff is a lot heavier and bulkier, and I do need him to help me. But I'm not taking my kids into a flea market. I'm not doing.
And
that.
Whitney hasn't been working because we don't have a lot of cell phone inventory because of the lockdown. So we're still struggling with inventory on our consumer electronics side. So we've just been buying a lot more pallets. We've got 6 that are coming in this week. We've got 3 coming in on Tuesday, and then 3 that are coming in on Thursday, and then we leave for vacation.
I know, right? Isn't that
next,
crazy?
The next week, and some of you may be like, "You are going on vacation and stuff."
Well, okay, so we planned this vacation a year ago, and before we knew any of this was going to happen, and we were fully intending, and we had prepared our kids that we may have to cancel the vacation depending on what, because we're going to vacation to Tennessee, to the Smoky Mountains, and we told them that we would, just follow the governor's lead. And he actually he decided to open up shortly. Actually, I think he's opening up this week, and then
they open up the 15th.
The 15th.
They opened up early. They weren't supposed to open up until
thanks, Maui Delights. We're excited.
The 4th in Tennessee, but then they opened up everything as of the 15th. Like all of we're not really going to amusement parks. There's a in Seaverville. There's a big water park resort that we've stayed at before that we're going to.
We'll keep y'all updated, though.
Yeah. So we're going on vacation. So we've got a lot to do in a few weeks, like 10 days, 12 days. And Fayetteville area.
Ooh, Fayetteville's beautiful.
Next time you come through Cajun, send us a message and we'll try and do lunch or something.
Yeah, that'd be
He was
fun.
in Conway, drove through the other day.
What? And you didn't message us?
He's like, yeah. I'm offended.
I'm offended.
I'm real big offended.
Has anybody been thinking about doing pallets who haven't done it? I know there's some of you out there who have done it, but anybody thinking about doing pallets and are interested in that kind of thing, or are y'all just, hanging out with us?
Why are you, I'm like kicked off of the screen and you've got like enough room over there.
You set up the camera. I don't know.
There we go.
That make you feel better?
Yeah. But I guess if y'all don't have any more questions, we'll give y'all a little bit of time to respond. There's like a minute lag between us and you guys.
So we're just going to sit here and stare at you awkwardly, just to make sure nobody has any questions. Joe cooked me dinner, and pallets sound interesting. They are very interesting. I promise. They are very interesting.
We tell people we flip pallets, and some people think that we're crafty.
And we make furniture out of pallets.
And I'm like, do you know who I am? Like, I'm not very crafty at all. Like, I can't cut a straight line with the saw to save my life.
I could probably do it.
You could cut a straight line?
No, I mean, I could probably build pallet furniture. I'm just not spatial. Like, if I had, like, an idea of what I wanted to do, I could tell you this is what I want to do, and then you show me how to do it, and I could probably do it. I can't take things that happen in my head and make it come out of my head the way that I want it to. But I can make, like, a table. I could probably do a table. That's about it.
I don't even know. It's all in my head.
Because I'll tell Joe, I'll be like, we should move this piece of furniture over here. And he's like, we have to cut it in half for it to fit.
She got it from her mom.
We have an inside joke with my mom because she's just spatially just doesn't get it. But everything is by Cuba. Everything is by Cuba. China's by Cuba. Neptune is by Cuba. That restaurant that we wanted to go to is by Cuba. Oh, and Maui Delights, we're thinking about, I'm trying to get Joe to make me a bed frame / headboard out of pallets, and he said
we are. Like, I'm going to do it. We're actually, I don't know if y'all know, we've been co-sleeping parents. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but we've, with our 3 kids, we've all slept in the same room in a giant, humongo, jumbo bed. And Jessica's been ready to get her own bed for a while, and I've been sad because my babies are growing up, and but we finally moved their beds into their own room, and we have our own room again.
I'm really excited about it, just to have
yeah.
a minute to breathe in space. I love my babies, but they're around me all the time, you know, homeschooling and everything like that. It'd be nice to have a space that's just where I can just not be mom for a second.
So we're gonna build I am gonna be building a little platform to put our king bed on top of instead of the little bed frame that usually gets.
And Cajun reseller, buying pallets is scary. It is very scary, and even now, are those faces? Those are faces.
Those are faces.
Okay. Every single time that we bid on a pallet, my heart skips a beat a little bit. So I mean, that doesn't ever go away. It's kind of like a cool rush, but also a little scary. But I think that you could very well do it.
Yeah.
You know how to do your research. You know what you're doing. You've been reselling for a long time. It's just on a little bit of a bigger scale and a slightly different avenue. And I think you could totally do it.
And a lot of it's you just don't know. I remember the first time when we started buying phones in bulk, the idea of placing $1,000 order, spending $1,000 on one order, it scared me. Like when we first was looking at it, I'm like, we can't afford this. Like, there's no way we can afford to spend $1,000 on an order. And then within a month, we were able to. And that first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, we just spent $1,000 on an order. And it's once you get through it and then you experience the money coming back, it decreases your anxiety.
I'm trying to figure out how you make faces.
I don't know. It's 9 a.m. wherever he is at or she.
Hello.
Yes. You must be. What time is it here? You are located maybe in the Philippines or in somewhere over in that time zone.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right. I love talking to y'all, I will say.
Yeah.
I do love talking to y'all. And I've missed the lives. I would like to, a lot of our channel is doing a lot of liquidation sales, pallets and stuff like that, since we're really getting a lot more into it, having the ability to do that and everything. So I would like to, Joe and I've talked about this, I would like to be able to do live chats, specifically to be able to chat with people about stuff, because people email us all the time asking about liquidation, but it's one of those things where it's so much better to have an actual conversation to explain, why we're doing what we're doing the way that we're doing it, and why whether or not that might not work for you. So be able to have a live chat where we can just talk about it. Who is it? Marie! Hello! I like the way.
Yes.
So we've been thinking about doing this at least, maybe once a month or so. For you guys.
It's summertime. Our kids will be. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
Our kids are going to be going to my sister's like 3 days a week during the summer, and so we have a 3-month plan, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, but maybe I'll talk about it a little bit. We have a 3-month plan to.
We have a 3-month plan to invest in growing our pallet business.
And
we don't know exactly what that looks like per se. We just know that we have a financial goal and we have a time goal, and we have a plan on how to get there. Not being vague on purpose, just we really know that we want to expand.
Yeah. And we want the opportunity to be able to if we choose to. So with that, the kids will be going to my sister's house 3 days a week. And so we're going to have a lot more time to be able to work flipping pallets and being able to do live videos and maybe more contact here and there. Mask.
Yeah, we don't like to shop, Susie.
No shopping.
I don't even like to shop for myself. We went to a bargain hunt and downtown in Conway to get some. We were looking for some sheets for the kids because we had moved their beds and everything. And we were just like, okay.
I walked in, I was like, I'm ready to go.
I know, I'm already ready to go. Let's just get our sheets and go.
Yeah. It's but some people, they love it.
Yep.
So cool.
I never know how to end these things. Like, how do people end these things?
We're Southern anyways, so there's the Southern goodbyes. There's like the three goodbyes before there's the official goodbye. And
Yes, it was a great attempt.
Yeah.
It was a terrible attempt. We were mad. I got mad halfway through it. Like, why am I doing this?
I was mad too. I remember I'd already looked and I was done, and she was looking through the clothes, and I'm like, why are we even doing this? Like, we just pay somebody to come do this that actually likes to shop.
I remember getting into the car to vlog, and I'd be like, we didn't find anything. I'm done.
Yeah. I haven't even listed any of that stuff yet.
We still haven't?
No. Yeah, I haven't listed a thing yet. Not a thing. I don't like to list stuff. That's why it's still sitting in the tub. Because I hate listing. That's why we got Whitney. You know, she lists the phones because I hate listing. But I did formulate a system this week to get our virtual assistant Wally to be able to list all of the pallet goods that were listed on eBay.
We never listed
none of that listed. So this week I will be getting those items prepped so that he can list it for me, because I hate listing. And if you are a reseller out there and like your reselling business is struggling because you also hate listing, like, hire somebody to do it. Like, hire somebody. There's lots of virtual assistants out there and systems that you can do to be able to do it for you, so that you can actually spend time in your business, growing the business, doing things that you actually love and enjoy doing, because listing is not one of them for me.
Yeah, definitely not my
Like,
favorite.
if the business depended upon me listing, oh boy, we would not be doing very well.
That's one of the reasons.
But I list all on Facebook, but it's a lot easier listing on Facebook than eBay. A lot easier.
I don't have a problem listing, but I have to do it in small spurts. I cannot do like an hour-long listing session. I can do like 20 minutes, then do something else, then come back, which I know is hard because you have to like. I'm just not an efficient lister to begin with, because my focus level on stuff like that is just like not very good.
Yeah.
So.
And then I swallow. We are doing well. We're doing well. We're kid-free. We're doing well. What?
I don't
You
know.
just made a face at me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Was I not supposed to say that? I've already said it at the beginning of the video.
We don't have kids. And
We
don't
try
know how
to do live streams in the past in our kiddos. We have 3 kids, if you didn't know it, 7, 3, and 2. And the 2-year-old Lucas, he is a no-limit soldier that gets into everything. And he's quite sneaky. He's like, what was that movie, the Adam Sandler movie? He's like very, very sneaky. Yeah, that guy. Mr. Deeds?
I have no idea.
Oh, you were probably too young. You're 10 years younger than me.
No, I've seen it. I have no idea.
Well, he sneaks, the butler. He's like sneaks up. He's like very, very sneaky. Well,
Yeah.
our son is like that. He sneaks around, and so the live streams with the kids became very difficult for us. So
Well, that we were doing them so late because that's the only time we could do that, and it
Yeah.
was like about bedtime, and they were live, not having it.
Yeah.
So. Anywho's.
Sweet. All right. Well, I guess we're going to get off of here. Yeah. Yeah. I love kids.
We do love them. They just make us.
They haven't gone anywhere.
We've been on quarantine.
Since quarantine. They used to go to my sister's house like once a month. And then it, with everything going on, they are fixing to.
What?
I'm not sure if they're what they're doing.
Let's just get rid of it.
And I don't even know what I said because I got distracted by the comment. Okay.
We need to have a moderator on here.
Great videos. Thanks for the knowledge. Have you ever had issues with selling big brands product due to trademarks? Yes. On Amazon. Little brands, Chinese brands. That's why we don't sell on Amazon anymore, because we can't. And why we recommend not buying Liquidation to sell on Amazon.
Cajun Reseller, you're about to be a moderator.
And we hardly ever do live streams. We never had a need
Thanks,
for it.
Cajun Reseller.
And I'm going to hit up Maui too. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's always awesome. And
We need help.
but
We have some. They're just not on
eBay,
here.
I haven't really had any issues with. I've had issues with Velcro on eBay. A Louis Vuitton belt that allegedly was, what's that, counterfeit. And that's it. But then Amazon, we got in trouble with some brands that we were some Chinese brands. And I say Chinese brands because 41% of Amazon sellers are located from China, and they fight very dirty when it comes to Amazon to get people off of their listings.
It's been a
And
mess.
when you buy liquidation, you don't have proper invoices to prove that your items are legit. So we have had trouble with that. We recommend not doing it. And so yes, but not on eBay. We haven't had any issues with copyright except for Velcro. I think there's like one other issue with some company that had to do with like a breast pump bags or something. And I got that quickly removed because the company was not on the Vero list with eBay. So we don't sell on Amazon. Part of me, here's the deal on Amazon. Like,
Oh no. You got him started.
Amazon is a great opportunity, but I'm a man of principles. I want to do things the right way. And Amazon, I just don't agree with a lot of things that are happening on Amazon with how they treat their sellers. I won't say a lot about anything else because I may get in trouble by Jessica because I get very passionate about stuff. And she's got that look on her face like, what is he going to say?
Sometimes he just says things. I'm like,
I just don't agree with how Amazon treats their sellers. That's
I
all.
don't agree with how Amazon treats their sellers either.
And it's just, for me, I can't really get involved with a company, especially investing that much money and putting my livelihood or part of my livelihood in the hands of a company that has proven time and time again to not treat sellers very well. And then, like, if I was to do it, Amazon again, I would really do wholesale, or private label stuff, or some retail arbitrage. But then, all that time that I would spend to find an item and get deals with wholesalers, and then Amazon coming in and kicking people off of listings and selling the product themselves. For me, I like to feel more in control, and that's my personal feelings with how I feel about it. A lot of people are different because Amazon's been proven very successful for them.
Yeah, Cajun loves it.
Yeah, and Cajun just did a little video when he did his first thrifting visit from the 15th. Got some wrestling video games that he was going to sell on Amazon. So a lot of people do it, and it's awesome, but it's not something that I want to do right now.
And then Cajun, we do not do garage sales. For one, we're not in a very good location. If we did do a garage sale, we would probably have to borrow somebody with a better location's yard.
Yeah.
Which is something we've considered doing, but we have not. It's not off the table though. It's not something that we just wouldn't do.
I think it is. We've got special things going on behind the scenes that I don't want people knowing where we live.
Yeah. But I'm
I just
saying,
don't.
but we do there's this event that happens in Conway once a year. It's called 64 Galore. So down at the end of, I don't know, you go to the end of the street, you go down that way. So I guess it's that way. See, I look spatially can't.
That's
do anything.
north.
But it's not far from here. But it's a long highway, Highway 64. And basically, everybody at the same day on the same weekend will set up a garage sale along that road, and you can just go from garage sale to garage sale, which is really, really cool. Except that we've never actually had to participate in that, so we're pretty close. I I don't even think they're going to do it this year, obviously, because of COVID-19 and everything. So
Yeah, they won't do it. Yeah.
sorry, I'm trying to.
With Instagram, it's we kind of have two different models here when it comes to what we do. We sell a lot of consumer electronics like cell phones, tablets, modems, and routers. That is what we focus on mainly on eBay. And because of those particular items, we have a large portion of those sales are international business that I don't, because of the visibility that eBay provides and the buyers that come on eBay to buy, I don't know of an alternative platform for us for those particular items that would be profitable for us. I am going to start looking into the Facebook shops that they have that's integrating with Facebook and Instagram, but we sell a lot of one-off items. And to get a lot of that set up for one individual item, I don't know how much time I want to do that for one item. If we were to set it up to where we would have a lot of high quantity items, or a lot of items of the same, a lot of quantity of the same item, it would probably be different for us. We would probably focus more with Facebook and Instagram. But with how well we do locally with selling a lot of our liquidation items, I haven't seen a need to be able to sell on Instagram, especially since a lot of these items we wouldn't want to ship anyways, because a lot of them are for the pallets that we like right now. They're not really cost conducive to ship. So I hope, I'm not really concerned about copyright issues. Because it's you're gonna have them as long as you're using your own pictures and you're selling them appropriately. Because of the law of first sale, you have the right to be able to sell a lot of those on those platforms. Amazon you don't, because of how they do business. You're guilty until proven innocent. But the other platforms, it's a lot more freedom for you as a seller because of the law of first sale, and as long as you're able to prove a chain of custody, you're protected a lot more. If you can't prove chain of custody, meaning that you can't prove that the item isn't counterfeit, that you got it from a approved wholesaler or distributor, or from a providing a receipt from like Walmart or Target or something like, that's the chain of custody.
Hi, Kyle. Suzanne McVeigh, new reseller, longtime homeschooler. Thanks for joining us. That's exciting.
Yes. How old are your kids that you homeschool?
Mercari.
Yeah.
I've thought about selling on Mercari.
I would sell on Mercari, and I am waiting, Cajun, for. We have a lot of listings, and I don't have time to go back and forth and delete listings from eBay and or Mercari. I know that there's List Perfectly. There's also another one that's got a funky name that I know that you can cross post from eBay to those, but it doesn't do inventory management, meaning like if you sell it on Mercari, it will not remove the quantity from eBay or vice versa. When we sold on Amazon, we use Listing Mirror that would cross post all of our items to eBay for us, or whatever other platform that we wanted to, but it did inventory management. So like if we sold one from Amazon, it would take away the quantity on eBay. But I'm waiting. I've been talking with List Perfectly. I know it is on their plans to do inventory management to reduce the quantities. Once that time comes, I will look into it, but I don't have time to remove 10 or 15 items a day from the different platforms. And yes, I could hire my VA to do it. I could delegate that task, but it's just not something, like, I'm happy with the sales that I'm getting right now for what we sell on eBay, because we sell items that are highly sought after items. If it wasn't, then it would be different. Do I do international shipping? Maui asked. We don't do much. The only direct international shipping that I am willing to do is to Canada, and that is all I'm willing to do. I know there's tracking available to like England and other places, but I don't feel like messing with all of it. For a lot of the items that we sell, the consumer electronic items that are small, there's lots of fraud that takes place in a lot of those other countries, and I'm not willing to mess with it. We do offer what is it? The global shipping program from eBay. We do that. I always say that.
He said do.
We do global shipping program, but we don't get a lot of sales from those. I know there's 27% of eBay America business is from international people, so there is a big market for it, but it's not something that I've been willing to invest my time in doing. And other than that, we use Pirate Ship for our cubic shipping needs, and we ship a lot of our liquidation stuff using FedEx. So, and Vendu is the other one. So
22, 16, 14, 10, and 10. You are amazing.
You're a rock star ninja.
You are a rock star ninja. My goodness. That's awesome. And you homeschool all of them? That's incredible. Woo!
They say like 41% of parents now. Some polls. I don't know when people do these polls. I'm like,
where do they get their polls
who are they
from?
polling? But the
polling?
poll suggested that 41% of parents said that they are more likely to do homeschooling when school starts back up in the fall than to send their kids to public schools.
Well, I think it really just depends on the districts that, what exactly is it? Because, I mean, you think about it, one of the things that I was thinking about, like, I know it doesn't affect me because we are going to homeschool. But, in our state, there are districts who are talking about, like, having, like, if you have 24 kids in your class, that there would be 12 that go on, like, Monday, Wednesday, and 12 that go on Thursday, Friday, and then they do their interventions on whatever other day I didn't say. Friday.
Meaning the kids that need extra work.
And so when you do stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, but where do the kids go? Like, if the parents have to work. So, like, it would almost seem like it would make sense to just homeschool your kids.
Well, that was before the new CDC regulations even came out.
Oh, so that was
just before. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was just sitting here thinking, like, there's just some things that people are saying in the CDC regulations, and they're not, I don't think they're actual regulations. I think they're just things that recommendations that the CDC had put out and everything. And I was just like, this is going to be really difficult, just in general, like just to logistically time everything and make sure everything is where it needs to be. And I'm just like, it wouldn't make sense to me that some people would actually seriously consider homeschooling given, the times that we're in and all the extra precautions everyone's having to take.
You're like a pioneer of homeschooling.
You're like a homeschool.
You are.
Homeschooling
Like you were
pioneer.
doing it before, like because now it's
cool.
become more popular and more cool. And
you were doing it before it was cool.
That's awesome. Way to go.
She's the OG homeschooler.
And yes, we've been working on that transition. We call it the right hook. It's what people in the YouTube world is the right hook, is to show your value proposition. And we've been working that for a while because we wanted to show people as quickly as we can who we were about. Like, we don't want to just be resellers. Like, we don't want this to just be a reselling channel. Yes, we talk about reselling a lot, but we want reselling to be a character on this channel. So we put a lot of thought into that little video, that transition video, to show kind of what we're about and what you can expect here. So, all right.
I think, how long have we been on here?
An hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's going by fast.
I missed you guys.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
we thank all the super chats out there tonight, and we really appreciate that. Like,
for real.
It's a big help, a big blessing for us, and it's going to go directly into our growth fund that we're saving up for to examine in 3 months how we want to grow. So I guess that's it. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
If y'all don't have any other questions, we appreciate y'all's time, and we appreciate y'all spending the evening with us. And we weren't expecting this many people on here, and just because we haven't done one in forever, and it wasn't planned, we didn't schedule it. So we greatly appreciate it. Y'all are a big blessing to us, and we always feel very supported by y'all, and it means a lot. So until next time. Peace.
Peace.
Now I gotta figure out how to turn this off.